Body bags, where horror lies.
Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to week 105 here on Body Bags. I am your host Moodz616, and thank you once again for stopping in on this Sunday, guys. Alrighty, yeah, week 105 is here, and I've got yet another one here from Midnight Releasing. This one right here originally came out in 2014, just got a media release maybe about a month ago or so, and it goes by the title of Kruel. Now, when I first see Midnight announce this one, or see that they were releasing this one, it got me intrigued because, you know, if you can see right in the corner there, you can kind of see like a little clown. And, you know, personally, I can't stand clowns. I think they're creepy and they're fucked up. But I love clown horror films. Anything to do with clowns in a horror film, I generally enjoy because I think it's just that creep factor for me. Yeah, so getting into the plot of this one, basically centers around your main character. Her name is Jo. She is a nanny. She basically is the nanny for the children, like across the street kind of thing. She's got this full-time job. She still lives at home. She's like a later teen. Of course, Jo is dealing with a lot of problems in her life. You know, she's got the typical parental problems, and she's got boyfriend problems. You soon learn in the beginning of the film that her boyfriend has actually been cheating on her. So she's been dealing with this and her parents, and she doesn't really know what she wants to do with her life, and just a whole pile of random shit is going on. So anyways, you know, one day she's kind of, you know, hanging out with the kids that she nannies and stuff, and this ice cream truck rolls around in the street. Anyway, she sends out the boys for ice cream, and the youngest boy, he comes screaming back to the house, and he's just like terrified, like absolutely terrified. And she can't figure out what the hell's going on, so she goes out there and kind of confronts the ice cream man, which is this clown. The ice cream man is, you know, he drives around in this truck dressed as a clown, and, you know, he's really creepy and stuff. Anyway, she has this really odd encounter with the ice cream man, and so she's kind of creeped out by it and shit like that, whatever. Next day rolls around, her boyfriend shows up to kind of talk to her about, you know, their problems, and, you know, how he wants to basically apologize for cheating on her and kind of reconcile and stuff like that. Anyways, while she's having this talk, the boy just ends up vanishing, right? Without a trace. They really cannot find anything. All they find is the boy's shoes, and now she's basically been held responsible for the mysterious death of this young boy because there's absolutely no clues to what happened. So she, you know, she tells the cops that, you know, her and her boyfriend were fighting. The boy ends up going missing. She tells the cops about her confrontation with this ice cream man, and they really don't, you know, look into it too much because they don't really put two and two together. So the cops blow her off. So now she's taken upon herself to kind of investigate and find out what the hell the deal is, because she feels really bad to what happened with this boy because she doesn't want to be responsible for his death. So now it's her trying to figure out what the hell happened to this boy. And yeah, that's basically the premise of the film. Now my thoughts on this one. Now, first off, it's a really low budget film. You know, so it has that low budget type feel. It almost feels like a TV movie at times. It's kind of got a really strange kind of feel to it, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I really did like the story to this. Like, I thought it had a pretty good premise, you know. But in my opinion, this movie just overstays its welcome. There's not a lot going on, you know. You got this general premise, this boy going missing, and now this teenage girl's trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And there's just a lot of investigative stuff and just a lot of random scenes in this film. There's actually a scene where the girl goes to the neighbor and, you know, tries to talk to the mom of the missing child, or the dead child, and I just think it was completely unnecessary. There was just scenes in this film that were just completely unnecessary to the overall story, and the runtime was just way too long. It runs about 105 minutes, so it just kind of overstays its welcome, and there's just a lot of downtime in the middle of the film, which is unfortunate because, you know, I'm kind of feeling the story, and really I just wanted to see a whole lot more of, you know, the ice cream man and, you know, things, you know, kind of developing with that and stuff. But, you know, there just really isn't a lot to say about the film, to be honest. The acting in the film is okay for low budget film. It's decent at best. I think the lead, she does a pretty good job in this. I think some of the other actors kind of hit and miss and stuff. But with a serious film like this, I think you need really solid acting to kind of, bring out the overall story and make it more effective. This one's just kind of average at best on all levels. I think the structure of the film is just too long for itself. I think they could have put a little more, or done a little more in the middle of the film to make it a little more exciting, or even, kind of tighten it up with the editing, because it just runs way too long. Now, the major problem with this film is definitely not the premise of the film. Like I said, I enjoyed it, but it suffers from predictability. Basically, you pretty much kind of know what's going to happen in this one. If you have a general idea and you've watched a lot of these type horror thrillers, you kind of know where this one's going, and it pretty much does. It's very, very predictable, and that's really what hurt this film the most. The long runtime and the predictability of it, and just the third act was just really, really not great at all. It's just beyond predictable. So overall, I wasn't terribly unsatisfied with the film. Like, I thought it was decent, but it just suffers from so many problems. Like, I think they could have developed a few more things. There's some really awful characters in this film too. I think that, she's likable. Obviously the boyfriend's not overly likable. There's times in the film where you really do want to kind of feel for him and stuff, but at the same time, you don't really care for him. You don't really like her parents. The police in this film are a bunch of assholes too. So, mixed in with a very kind of slow burn type film, you got all these characters that you really don't care about except for her. Even her friends, you're just like, okay, they're very kind of generic and stereotypical characters. So, there's a lot of things in this film that there's some good and there's some bad, but overall, it's just very, very average to me. I think this movie would have been just so much better if they had just tightened it up, then you could have kind of let go of the characters and stuff. But honestly, it's not the worst watch in the world. It's not the best either. Very predictable. I would loosely recommend this one, but I can't really give it a high rating because overall I just was not fully satisfied with the product. Oh man, I don't know, the predictability of the film was just not the best. But if I had to rate this one, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 10. A little bit boring in parts, so, like I said, if I bring up the word boring, that's just not a good thing for me. But Kruel, decent premise, just not executed the best. The overall product just overstays its welcome, man. So, Kruel, from 2014. If you want to check it out, it just came out. I'm sure you can pick it up cheap. I think this one's available everywhere. I grabbed it at Walmart for like $10. Oddly enough, Midnight actually sent me over a copy too, so I actually have 2 of them. But anyways, guys, that's going to be Kruel for Midnight releasing. If you want, check it out. Not the worst thing in the world, but see you guys next week in week 106. Peace out, homies.